Hello and welcome. I am Light, and this is my channel. As it has been requested that I read some more true ghostly tales, I thought that I would do that for you this evening. So, find yourself a comfortable spot. Get yourself whatever it is you need to drink. And let's get started, shall we? Number 1. I used to work in a hospital in the IT department. We did a number of overnight rollouts as well as on-call work response when issues occurred overnight. Many weird things happened or appeared to happen. The thing that struck me as the oddest, though, was when I saw the coroner running at full speed down the corridor in the opposite direction of the morgue. This guy was in his 50s or so, and he was going full speed. I had never seen him move above an amble before, but this time he was really going for it. And as he got close to me, he yelled, "Out of the way. I got another live one." I'm not sure what was more disturbing. The fact that he was dealing with what I could only assume was a dead body that now appeared to be alive, or the fact that he had said another. Number 2. My old coworker had a son that was in his mid-30s, and he had a son named Hunter that was about 4 or 5. She said that Hunter would have bad dreams and that he would sleep with his dad when he got scared. One night, his dad woke up because he heard Hunter calling him. But he was calling him by his name and not Dad. So he went to his room and he was asleep. He woke him up and said, "Hunter, you are calling me. Is everything okay?" And Hunter said, "Dad, when they call you, you're not supposed to answer," and fell back asleep. He asked him about it in the morning, but he said he did not remember saying it. I get chills when I think about it. Number 3. Driving home with a buddy from our high school summer job at the local amusement park. It's about 3 in the morning and there is no traffic at all. We get stuck at that red light that never ends, and while we are waiting, another car pulls up next to us. It was a black hearse in immaculate condition, with a clown in the driver's seat, with full makeup on and costume. He never moved. He didn't look at us. Nothing. He just stared straight ahead the whole time. Number 4. I was on vacation in Ithaca with my boyfriend at the time. We had literally, and I'm talking about 10 minutes, just gotten into town and stopped at a suspension bridge near Cornell's campus. I am terrified of heights, and so my boyfriend was coaxing me step by step over the bridge. It was gorgeous, and we stopped at the middle to take a picture. On the side we had come from, there was a parking lot with steps leading to the bottom of the gorge, but on the far side there were hiking paths with no barrier. A woman walked past us and offered to take a picture for us. We declined, and she smiled and walked quickly to the far side of the bridge, where she smoothly jumped off into the gorge. There was not a second of hesitation. It was almost as if she expected the path to keep going. The sound of a person hitting the ground from a jump like that sticks with you. Number 5. My parents bought their first house back in 1972. It was a fixer-upper, but they decided to move right in and fix things as time and money permitted. Within a few days of moving, the new neighbors came over to introduce themselves. They also let my parents know that the previous owners had moved out after a nasty divorce. They had lost their second baby from SIDS, and the relationship went downhill from there. My parents were horrified, more so because they were newly pregnant and couldn't imagine going through such a thing. They eventually pretty much forgot all about it. Life went on. They were in love with their new life and their new house, and in preparation for the new baby, they decided to wallpaper the nursery. Now, my dad had told my mom that there was no need to wallpaper the inside of the closet, but she insisted. She was kneeling down, scraping off old paint inside of the closet when her eyes fell upon something that made her blood turn to ice. Written in crayon at about eye level for a kindergartner in childish scrawl was, "I killed the baby." Number 6. My grandmother's entire life, she had a reoccurring nightmare. In this nightmare, she would be walking down a long, dark hallway, turn to the left, open a door, and see something terrible. But she'd always wake before seeing what it was. In her 40s, she and her husband and my dad and my aunt were on vacation. They booked the hotel at the last minute, so they ended up having to get 2 rooms with 2 twin beds on opposite sides of the floor. My dad woke up around 3 a.m. and he could automatically tell that something was not right. He called out into the darkness, "Dad?" No response. He turned on the bedside light. "Dad?" He said a little louder this time. Still, no response. Getting worried, he got out of bed and he shook his father, and he didn't wake up. My dad ran down the hallway to my grandma's room and started banging on the door. My grandma worriedly opens the door, and my dad shouts, "Something's wrong with Dad." He leads her down the hallway, a long, dark hallway, to the last door on the left. My grandmother reaches the door, turns to the left, and sees her husband dead in bed of a heart attack. Number 7. A few years ago, my boss went on a holiday for a couple weeks to Spain. Midway through the holiday, he got a phone call from the police informing him that his sister had died in a fire in her apartment. So he rushed back home early. He dealt with the police and the death and everything else. Our employers told him to take a few days off to grieve, which he did. When he finally came back into work on a Monday morning, a few weeks later, we invited him into our office for coffee and to talk and offer him our sympathies and support. About a half an hour later, he excused himself to start work. He walked into his office and he sat down at his desk. He turned on his computer and he checked to see if there were any messages on his answering machine. The very first message that plays was his sister screaming into the phone, "Help me, help me, I'm trapped. I can't breathe." It still sends chills down my spine to think about that. Number 8. When I was a kid, I always was the last kid picked up by the bus driver to go to school. One day I was waiting for the bus by myself, and a bus with no kids pulled up. The bus driver smiled and told me to hop on. I had a bad feeling. I said, "Well, where are the other kids?" And he said, "We'll go get them now, just get on." He got more and more pushy, but didn't do anything crazy. I just kept saying no, and he shrugged and left. The real bus pulled up a few minutes later. Well, I hope you enjoyed those. And if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. If you would like to be subscribed and you are not, please go ahead and do so. And if you'd like to be notified when my content goes live, go ahead and ring that bell. Good night.